The Missionary Sisters of Our Lady of the Holy Rosary now has 3 permanent members into the congregation. The 3 sisters professed their final religious vows to God and the people of God recently in Bamenda. With 5 days left to the kickoff of the new academic year, various stakeholders are making last-minute preparation for a successful take-off. In this newscast, we measure the preparations of some stakeholders. And 335 homes have been earmarked to receive psychosocial support in the Southwest region. A planification meeting to execute this project is underway in Melong. Those are our top stories. The development of these stories and more in the minutes ahead. Good evening, dear TV friend of Divine Mercy Radio Television. You're welcome to Divine Mercy Prime this Tuesday, September 3rd, 2024. We begin our newscast in the Archdiocese of Bamenda, where 3 finally professed sisters of the Missionary Sisters of Our Lady of Holy Rosary have been admonished not to lose sight of their humble beginnings and know their destiny. The Archbishop of Bamenda, His Grace Andrew Nkeya, made this clarion call to those sisters in their solemn final profession, which took place recently in the Archdiocese of Bamenda. Odette Chanji tells us more in the following report.
By the authority entrusted to me by the congregational leader, I receive the vows in the name of the Church for the congregation of the Missionary Sisters of Our Lady of the Holy Rosary.
Sisters Chinaza Adinde, Aleka Noi, and Elvira Lukong professed their final vows of consecrated celibacy, evangelical poverty, and apostolic obedience in the hands of their regional leader in Cameroon, Sister Martina Orga, and in the presence of God's people to work in the vineyard of the Lord as religious in the congregation of the Missionary Sisters of Our Lady of the Holy Rosary. Having performed this ritual wholeheartedly and freely, these sisters were accepted as permanent members of the congregation with a commitment to dedicate themselves fully and without reserve for the rest of their lives to the rules and statutes binding them in the congregation. Bishop Andrew Nkeya prayed for them for the grace of perseverance.
Whom you are consecrated to in baptism, keep you in His grace in Christ Jesus, so that you may serve Him by a truly evangelical life. May you receive from your communities the love and support you need to live this dedication.
Preaching earlier on, the Archbishop of Bamenda, His Grace Andrew Nkeya, admonished the sisters never to lose sight of their humble beginnings and know their destiny. He castigated those priests and religious who before ordination and consecration are very obedient, but shortly after being ordained or taking their final vows, easily forget their history and wine and dine with rich families and hardly going back to their roots, argue with superiors on where they want to work and be in charge, just to mention but these.
Sisters, don't forget your history. Know your destiny. Sometimes it is so bad that we cannot take holidays and go back to England, go back to visit the very parents who brought us up. They are going to bring up to the altar today. We cannot take holidays and go back to visit them and stay in the very humble houses where we grew up. Holidays must either be in Europe or America, or we must roam from one rich family to the other, because we are too big to stay in the very houses in which we were born and grew up. Sisters, don't forget your history. Know your destiny. This is what St. Paul is warning us about in the reading from the first letter to the Corinthians, and in the same breath, warning all of us who are Christians, whatever you become in life, remember
Monsignor Andrew called on the sisters to put their different gifts and talents at the service of the community of God's people. The finally professed sisters expressed joy and gratitude to all and sundry for the support and appealed for continuous prayers.
A heavenly experience for me, the glorious privilege to be called to serve God. And I am grateful to you all who have come to pray for and to us. We need your prayers. It will help us to live out the life that we have dedicated to.
I'm so happy, I'm so blessed. Thank the Lord for this opportunity He has given to me. And I thank God for my family and all those who have journeyed with me to come in the service. My prayer is that He grants me the grace of final perseverance, and that through my works, my services, souls, many souls will be saved.
I feel so happy for the way God has loved me and brought me to this extent. I ask God to help me and fill me with the graces I need to continue to work for Him. And I am very grateful to everybody who is here, who has supported me from the beginning of the journey right up to this moment.
The special offertory, accompanied with different melodies from the three villages of the sisters, added pomp to the celebration. The performance mesmerized the congregation. Whining and dining continued.
We take you back in the Diocese of Boya, where Christians of Christ the King Parish, Idinau, are putting up all necessary measures for the timely completion of aesthetics in their parish before the year 2025. Work here, the parish in the days ahead will experience or will be a suitable place of worship for the Christian community in Idinau and those of its environs, and also help the Christians grow spiritually. Our reporter Nadesh stopped by this parish to evaluate the work done so far and brings the details in the following report.
In preparation of the visit of the Bishops of Cameroon to Christ the King Parish in Idinau in January 2025, the parishioners are working hard to enhance the church's aesthetic and functional qualities. Parish priest Reverend Father Emile Ikome affirms that significant progress has been made, including the installations of windows, main doors, and the inner section of the church.
We have succeeded to install all the windows and the main doors, all the windows and the doors which will lead in and out of this church. We have succeeded also to plaster the entire inner section of the church. That we have done too. And what we intend to do now is to carry out serious work at the sanctuary. You know, the sanctuary has to be beautiful. So we intend to get tiles for the sanctuary. We intend to do some staff work at the sanctuary for it to be able to represent Christ the King Parish Idinau.
According to Father Ikome, much would have been done, including tiling and sanctuary accessories, but the lack of sufficient funds stands as a challenge for the work progress. Despite this, they remain optimistic about achieving their goals.
We would have gone further than that if not of our limited resources. We cannot complete the church in the space of 3 months or 4 months. But if you have the resources, we can do that. If you have the resources, I think that in 3 months' time, there will be tiles everywhere, there will be paint everywhere. But with limited resources, we just want to handle the few aspects that we can handle to make the environment ready to welcome the bishops. It's a great occasion, so we cannot rely on our laurels, but we have to do our best to see how we welcome the bishops.
The parish priest commended the parishioners for their generous support and urged them to continue in their efforts to complete the church to their expectations.
I want to thank each and every Christian of Christ the King Parish Idinau and to say courage to them. Let them not give up. We continue with the fight, and until we all are no longer here. We will continue building the church of God. So courage to them, and may God continue to bless them and reward them immensely for this good work that they are doing in honor of His name.
As the community eagerly anticipates the bishop's arrival, they remain hopeful that their vision for the church's completion will become a reality.
Let's now talk back to school. Christians of Sacred Heart Parish, Bomaka, have been encouraged to pray always and to dedicate all they do in the hands of God. The Christians were encouraged this September 2nd, 2024 during a Eucharistic celebration dedicated for students to pray for the successful academic year 2024-2025. Details with Father Cletus Aka.
The Bible advises Christians to begin all they do with prayer. Reason why the young Christians of Sacred Heart Parish, Bomaka, especially the students, have come together in the celebration of Holy Mass to commit the new academic year 2024-2025 into the hands of God, believing that through Him all things are possible.
So enriching the back to school Mass, I feel so enriching, and I feel like I have the capacity to start the school year. The blessings for that gift has made me feel like I can start the school year.
We had this Mass for go back to school, and I'm very happy that Father has blessed my school thing because I know that I'll pass my exam. And I'm very happy for the preaching that he did today, and it touched my heart very much because I know that
Receiving blessing from the representative of Christ during the Holy Mass, the young Christians who are ready to go back to school feel enlightened and ready to embrace another step in the academic ladder, knowing that they have entrusted the school year 2024-2025 into the hands of God.
In the Holy Mass, He invited us all to be prayerful and be watchful as we go back to school, and He asked God to continue to guide and protect us. And He also blessed our school items and committed us in the hands of God.
Some parents who attended the Mass applauded the example and the initiative of the priest. The parents believe such an exercise will draw the students closer to God.
I really want to appreciate our Reverend Father for this wonderful initiative, bringing our kids to start the academic year with Holy Mass, because it's very important. We all know the perilous times we are living in. We know what's happening in our society today. We need to bring the children closer to God, make them to understand that it's not by their power, but by the special grace of God that they have lived up to this time, and God has kept them and given them another opportunity to have another school year.
The students departed with a positive mindset, feeling enriched with the blessing received, trusting that the new academic year will be a success to them all.
Still in line with back-to-school preparations, parents and some schools are putting in all they can to ensure a great start of the new academic year for their kids and students come September 9, 2024. Details on this story with Jamilatu Tongtang.
September 9th is in the days ahead, and parents and schools in the Southwest region are putting together all they can within their part to see that all turns out well as this academic year 2024-2025 kickstarts. Purchase of school didactic materials and other items that will serve for a smooth school session for the kids is what characterizes these last-minute preparations. Chantal Eyene and Odilia Mbong are out to buy school items.
So we are in the market to get some stuff to my younger ones, like their bags, their books, maybe their inner wears and the rest. Back to school, as you all know, so we are preparing so hard, even though it's not easy.
I want to buy their school thing them from back to school. I want to buy their school book, their school shoe, book, anything, pen, all things that they are using for school.
Meanwhile, as parents and students prepare to resume, schools are not left out to ensure they welcome the students and pupils. The head teacher of Catholic School Boyer Station, young Henrietta, says her school is set to begin the new academic school year.
For our back-to-school preparations, we have had a seminar in Ripako Mutengene to prepare the teachers to work with the children appropriately. Again, we are in school presently to do some orientations and other things to make sure that on Tuesday everything will be set for learning. We have cleaned our environment. If you look at the surrounding, it is very clean and healthy for learning. Our classrooms are intact, clean and ready for learning.
Chantal, in the other hand, envisages nothing but the best as her siblings go back to school in the days ahead.
We always pray for the best and hope for the best. So that's how we do everything within our power to provide for them, so that at the end they'll provide us with good results, and we're hoping for God to take control.
While parents and the schools do all they can to make sure all necessary needs are met, the children are equally called upon to understand that all these efforts is a huge sacrifice, and thus they are called upon to do all they can to make these parents proud at the end of their school course.
Caritas, which is the charitable arm of the Diocese of Boya, in collaboration with a German firm, are putting hands on deck to provide necessary or basic material for orphans and vulnerable children in the Southwest region. A planification meeting to this effect is taking place at the St. Francis Mission Catholic Center in Melong 2. Otop Joseph has details on this story.
In a bid to support orphans and vulnerable children in the community, the charitable arm of the Church Caritas in the Diocese of Boya, in collaboration with Kindermissionswerk Distenzinger, a Catholic organization based in Germany focused on helping children and youth, is holding a planification meeting in order to provide basic necessities to those in need. Holding at Sanctuary Saint Francois Mission Catholique Melong 2, these charitable workers aiming to reach out to 335 households are certain ways to help the vulnerable mentally and otherwise, thereby contributing in decreasing the negative impact of sociopolitical crisis in the Diocese of Boya. Everything is being put in place to meet up the target in the days ahead, says Mr. Pierre Ernest Jinda, Director of Caritas Diocese of Boya.
So the bishop has signed a project for community support to orphans and vulnerable children. And we are here now for a programmatic startup for that project, who aims at supporting the most vulnerable children in the community by giving them school assistance, food assistance, micro project, and mental health and psychosocial support.
Meanwhile, an assessment has been made to meet up to the 335 homes.
We have already done the needs assessment for the first year of the project, that is running from August 2024 to July 2025. And so far we were able to assess 576 households, and in these households we had 1,900 children, and from these households we are going to select those that will be benefiting from school assistance, birth certificate assistance, those that will be receiving hygiene kits, bedding materials, income generating activities, and mental health and psychosocial support.
With this good initiative, there is more rewarding in giving back and making a difference in the lives of people in a community.
Spoken word artists in Cameroon and beyond have taken the art of spoken words to another level in the 21st century, characterized by modern technology and innovation. These artists now use spoken words and technology, which intersects in fascinating ways, enhancing the creation, sharing and experience of poetry performance on various digital platforms like Spotify, Boomplay, YouTube, and more. Sama Eileen tells us more in the following report. The art of spoken word is slowly taking central stage in multimedia integration in Cameroon, where spoken word artists use video and animation to create a more immersive experience. These include animations, short films, or live performances with visual art. Spoken word art is literally poetry spoken on stage with the use of music and action. Mark Alunge is one of the finest Cameroonian spoken word artists.
Because she is woman, I fold my sleeves to any form of danger.
Spoken word is a form of art that is recently gaining popularity now in West Africa, West and Central Africa, but it's not very center stage yet. So it is poetry, literally, that is spoken on stage, usually with intonation and actions and music, usually dramatic monologue.
On various digital platforms, these spoken word artists are exploiting modern technology to sell their craft both online and offline.
You can see for yourself, we just performed with a screen and images and write-ups, and people could be able to see the lyrics of what I was performing. I think it gave an entirely different experience than just me performing, even with choreography. I think it brings a whole new a touch to the whole performance. Also, I've had the privilege of performing in several different countries, and when I travel, it's because people saw me and when they see me on social media. So social media is very important, and that's how technology is helping to push the art. My content is obviously on social media, on YouTube, on Facebook, Instagram, and you can also find it on Boomplay, on Spotify and the streaming platform. So you can always find my content there, and then obviously there are also offline. I have offline tapes and flash drives that you can also purchase. So
Miriam Vaganzi is a motion designer. She deals with video graphics and is quite impressed by spoken word artists in Cameroon.
I have just two words actually, elevating and sensational. And oftentimes when I listen to them do this art, I have chills all over my body. I relate with it. I'm really emotional, and it really speaks to my soul.
However, spoken word art is still evolving in Cameroon and Africa at large, and will soon take central stage, considering that many know little or nothing about this form of visual art. Nonetheless, the culture of spoken word art, usually referred to as slam poetry, is beginning to gain ground in the Cameroon entertainment and education arena, with a number of prolific spoken word artists pushing forward the bar with their boundless creative energy and African style to become pace setters of the art in Cameroon and Africa in general. The sons and daughters of Ikata have sent words of gratitude to the Bishop of Buea, His Lordship Michael Bibi, for the organization of the Bishops' Tournament for Peace and Hope. The population says there is a need for more of such competitions that breeds peace and living together in a once devastated community like theirs. Aloysius Likie followed the finals of this tournament and now reports.
The finals of the Bishop Michael Tournament for Peace and Hope took place this weekend at Ikata between the two teams that fought through to the finals. The tournament that kept the youths and the entire population of Ikata busy and on their feet is a medium to preach peace to an era that has been hardly hit by the ongoing Anglophone crisis, and holidays were characterized with killings, kidnappings and running. The competition that lasted for 1 month brought together sons and daughters of Ikata, even those who have fled in the course of the crisis, and acted as a period of reunion, as we hear from the president of the organizing committee.
2 competitions donated by the bishop, 1 million fans each last year and this year. So this year we had the Bishop Bibi's Tournament of Peace and Hope Ikata 2nd edition that started in the first week of August. With support of our parish priest, Father Emmanuel Itongwe Molongwe. The competition ran for 1 whole month, and it was so beautiful. We had 9 playing days with 6 teams, and so far 2 teams went for the finals, Godzilla FC and Kwatatiri FC. Kwatatiri FC carried the day with true penalty shootout with 2 goals to 1 on Sunday the 1st of September 2024. The bishop so far has had the people of Ikata at heart, because the people of Ikata are always talking about him, and they are always happy with the donations and the things he's doing in that village. It's not showing that the bishop is a bishop of Boya, but the bishop is a son of Ikata, handling Boya as his diocese. And so with that, the people are super happy.
The Bishop Michael Bibi Tournament for Peace and Hope did witness some few challenges which are related to the ongoing crisis, as most persons are still afraid to go back home, reasons why the population are asking for more of such competitions.
So far, we faced a whole lot of challenges, one of which is insecurity issue. Another one is having Wi-Fi have not been an easy task, because of the so many interquarter competitions going around FACO, to get Wi-Fi are not very easy. The bishop did not only do that in Ikata per se, also did that in a neighboring village, Owe. It therefore means that the bishop is a polyvalent man, is a dual national citizen of Cameroon, having the citizenship of Owe, Ikata, and the Diocese of Boya. And with that, we are very happy on behalf of the people of Ikata. We are very happy, and we must come back to the bishop to say thank you. We must come back to say thank you. And of course, come again to beg, because people in crisis are always acting like Oliver Twist, who come back to tell the bishop, we're begging him for more.
Just as the name of the competition stipulates, it was an avenue to bring back the much desired peace and living together in an area once devastated by the crisis.
So far, the competition has been bringing the peace and hope to the people. If you see on the video, the people are very happy, the people are jubilating. And other sons of Ikata are gradually learning the ability to give back to their community. And in that, I think that's the reason why one of us, Wise Baron, donated 2 cartons of books to be shared to children in Ikata village on that same day of the finals. In a nutshell, it was good, it was beautiful. And within the holidays, children did not drown in their tears again like before, but have things that will keep them busy for the holidays.
As the Okada riders under quarter 3 are still jubilating over their victory in Ikata, all roads will lead to Owe, Muyuka, for the finals of the Bishop's Cup that comes up this weekend.
And that report takes us to an end on tonight's newscast over DMR TV. Before we let go of you, a recap of our top stories. The Missionary Sisters of Our Lady of Holy Rosary now have 3 permanent members into the congregation. The 3 sisters professed their final religious vows to God and the people of God recently in Bamenda. With 5 days left to the kickoff of the new academic year, various stakeholders are making last-minute preparations for a successful takeoff, and 335 homes have been earmarked to receive psychosocial support in the Southwest region. A planification meeting to execute this project is underway in Melong. That is what we put together for tonight's newscast over DMR TV. We want to thank you for your keen attention. Coming up next, we have Mountain Echoes with Yannick Funky. Do stay tuned to DMR TV. From my end to yours is good night.